Welcome to another insightful episode of Valued Solar Talks with Deepak Bajaj, where we bring the engaging conversation with visionaries who are shaping the future of technology and connectivity. Today, we are thrilled to host Dr. Satya Gupta, an internationally renowned expert in next generation network and technologies, broadband policy, and telecommunication regulations. As the executive chairman of Bluetown India and BeamStack South Asia, Dr. Gupta has been at the forefront of bringing the digital divide in rural areas with innovative solutions. He is also a celebrated author, speaker, and mentor, contributing extensively to the policy advocacy and capacity building in the ICT sector. His groundbreaking work in initiatives like Hotspot as a managed services and leadership in organizations like the Blockchain for Productivity Forum and Bharat IPv6 Forum have earned him numerous accolades, including an honorary doctorate from the Commonwealth Vocational University. Today, we will dive into his remarkable journey, explore the impact of his work on rural connectivity, which is very important for the India as a nation, and discuss his visionary thoughts on the future of telecom and blockchain technologies. So welcome, Dr. Gupta.
Yes, thank you, Deepak.
Yeah. So thanks for your time, Dr. Gupta. We always have seen you at the various forums, various stages. So thanks for taking your time. It's a pleasure for us to host you and to feature you. Thank you. So, Dr. Gupta, you had an illustrative career spanning multiple decades in the telecom industry.
Actually, I changed so many ministries, so many jobs because I wanted to do what my heart used to tell me, actually. And that is, I left my corporate job also in the end because I wanted to become an entrepreneur, or I wanted to do what I felt I should be doing.
Definitely, and the right word which you use is social entrepreneur. So now you have changed the paradigm of the entrepreneurship. The people become entrepreneur to earn money, obviously by solving the problem. But if it is giving back to the society, then definitely it will relate with your passion, and you are known for a kind-hearted person in the society as well.
Thank you.
Uh, So, we would like to know that how your journey evolved into becoming a thought leader in NGN technologies and rural broadband.
Oh, yes, Deepak, that is also when I was working in Telecom Regulatory Authority of India as a joint secretary. I was also given the charge of international relations and also coordinating with International Telecom Union, Commonwealth Telecom Organization for various cooperation, various exchange of knowledge, exchange of expertise, and also capacity building. And in that time, I came close to the senior directors in International Telecom Union at Geneva. And that time, there was nothing called next generation network. It was IP-based network. Internet had just come, actually, and they wanted to do actually a research on how the regulation, telecom regulation will look like when the network becomes next generation or fully IP based, actually. So that time they actually shortlisted 3 experts, so to call them, from the world. One was a Dr. Shab Lee from Korea, who rose to become director of ITU at later stage. And another was one Professor Marco from Spain, and third one happened to be me, actually. So 3 of us had to write a sort of research paper or a book kind of thing on the telecommunication and regulation in the NGN era, next generation network era. Now that word have been changed into what they call FG, that is called future group, actually, or future network group. So that gave me a lot of actually opportunity first to learn about these next generation networks which were basically based on IP, Internet Protocol, which were called packetized those days, actually, in contrast to the conventional network, which were switch or circuit switched, then packetized. In addition to that, they went to the layered approach of differentiating or separating the call control function from the services and from the network. So layered approach, which was originally from the internet protocol, TCP IP, where there were 7 layers. In NGN, they had 3 layers. One was the underlying infrastructure. Second was the control or the network infrastructure. And third was the application layer kind of thing. So that is where we got a lot of interaction happens, a lot of research studies. And finally, we came out with that book after 3 years. So that brought us actually in this NGN, you can say, world or ecosystem at the international level.
Wow. And writing a book itself is not an easy thing, especially when it comes to the technology, technical bit and byte, and it's very difficult to compose the book. And obviously, when you are having a people from a different nationalities.
Yes, and it was so that was done, but I did not stop there. Then I wrote a book by myself also after learning while writing that ITU book. The book was named EOIP. That time we were talking of VoIP. So I wrote EOIP, everything or IP dash everything you want to know about next generation network, actually. So that was the book which was authored by me in my own name. That was highly technical, of course, as you can put right. But it was my first book authored in my individual capacity. That was about 20 years back, actually.
You will be inspirational to many people who are thinking to become an author. And I also become a first-time author, so I understand the effort and the thought process which has been put into. So thanks for bringing your knowledge into a written document, which will create a legacy for yours.
Thank you.
So tell us about the Bluetown. Well, first of all, it's a very unique name. So we are interested into knowing its mission and the significance of creating the model. I'm sure you have created this significant model, which is called hotspot as a managed services.
Yeah, thank you for this question. Actually, Bluetown word actually came from Bluetooth. Actually, about 15 years back in Denmark, there was a company formed which was using Bluetooth as a technology, and Bluetooth actually was invented in Denmark. That was a very short range kind of Wi-Fi, actually. You know, in phones we used to have Bluetooth earlier, and Wi-Fi came much later, in fact. So it started from there, but it died its natural death because its range was very small, few meters only.
Yes.
So then this company, they went for Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi was also in its nascent stage that time, and especially in our country. And when they have developed their Wi-Fi last mile solution, and they wanted to basically try it in India. And by accident, I met the two founder of that company on a flight when we were coming from London, and they were to go to Denmark. I was to come to India, and in Dubai, our flights were changing. So during the flight, we became friends. And when they told what they are doing and what they want to do, and I told them, yes, India is a place, and they were discussing whether to go to India or China. They had more or less decided about China, but when they met me, they were not believing what I told them about India, but they told, let us change our flights at Dubai. Let's hire a room in the hotel in Dubai, and let's debate it. And then we will go back. You go to India, we will go to Denmark, like that. So 8 hours we had brainstorming that whether they should go to China to sell their invention or they should come to India. So when I told them India, a lot of unconnected people, all that, and government is supportive of this, there is a big market. And then they told me, okay, we are going back to Denmark, and what you are telling, we don't believe actually. We will like to see it. So whenever you can fix our meeting with the chairman of BSNL and the chairman of Railtel. Actually, both these companies I was associated in my earlier actually era. So, and I had friends there actually as chairman. So, and I told them, and they told, yes, you bring them anytime. We will give them a hearing. And so when I told them, after 2 days they came. They made their presentation to the BSNL board and also the Railtel board. And they told, yes, we want to come to your country. We want to invest in your country. We want to work here. And but we want you also. And that time, of course, I had left government already. I was in the car freight sector and my second car freight job. I told that I'm already working. So they told, no problem. If you can help us as an advisor or consultant, it is okay. So then I took approval from my employer to help this part-time, and that is how it started. So when I got their company formed and when I got them first order also, then they told, we want you full-time. How much it will cost, all those things happened. And then I was motivated to become their country head actually. That is how the Bluetown came here, Bluetown India, where now I have some stake also, but it was earlier I started as a consultant. I became its country head. Now I'm its chairman. And of course, I'm the founder. So that is about the Bluetown. Now the main thing comes in, that is the innovation I did in the business model of rural broadband, and that is called hotspot as a managed service actually, because what was happening in India, we have a lot of unconnected people in India as far as data was concerned. We had 2G everywhere and people had a phone and voice connection was there. So they were connected in the telecom with voice, but they had no data. That time 3G had just come, but it has not made any impact. 2G, 3G was same. 4G was not there. FTTH have not reached the villages. So then we found out a model. I did a research, and that was my second book. The second book, which is named Long Tail, actually walking the extra mile on the rural broadband business. So that my second book, where I did a research by reading, by studying, and based on my ITU experience. So I tried to found a business model as to how the Wi-Fi or broadband will become available in rural areas. No operator was going there because the cost of doing a infrastructure or setting up a hotspot was more than cities and the revenue was less. So there was no business model. No telco was interested. Even now, no telco is interested because it's not a business model till I brought this concept of hotspot as a managed service, wherein you will use the existing infra of a telco as it varies, wherever they have, and their spare capacity, you will carry yourself as a third party, as their agent or as their franchisee to the village on an unlicensed radio on the Wi-Fi, and then you will create a hotspot there by your own investment. So that means I invest myself, create a hotspot, and then offer it as a managed service to the telco to bridge the last mile gap actually. And that worked very well because telco had to invest nothing. Only their spare capacity I have to take from as is where is, take it to the village and then give it to the villagers, or more than that, I will take it to a hotspot, a people's hotspot in the village. The people's hotspot, I mean like a hospital or a school or a bank or a post office, where there are some government people working and they need broadband, and some people come there regularly in the neighborhood or surrounding, because the Wi-Fi hotspot range is limited. It was about 500-meter radius. So you
Yeah.
cannot cover it everywhere, but a hotspot is where majority of people come for their work or for working there, and especially school, lot of students are there, teachers are there. So that is what the concept of hotspot as a managed service came.
Wow. I understand now. Nowadays, this hotspot is becoming a lifeline and the source of income for many. So if we go
Yes.
into the other than urban areas or semi-urban areas, the rural and this sparsely separated localities, geographies need such type of internet, which you have created with the with your forevision as well as the innovation which you have thought as in the past time. So thank you for giving a one source of livelihood to many people who are digitally connected.
Yeah, and I can tell you, we are also creating for one hotspot, we are also creating a job which I call intrapreneur. It is not entrepreneur fully. Intrapreneur is a person who has a idea, or who who has nothing else to do. He has no job, he
Hmm.
has time, but he has no money to invest and he cannot take risk. So then I created this entrepreneur. I told, you don't have to invest. I will invest in you, and you don't have to take risk. I will give you some minimum apprenticeship or internship every month. And but then you become my VLE, village level entrepreneur. You will be trained, because there were government scheme, Digital India, Skill India, Make in India, now Startup India. I made use of all those four schemes of the government, and then I created these kind of entrepreneurs without them investing a penny, because they don't have, and neither taking a risk, because something I'm giving them minimum, and rest they get revenue share. Whatever revenue they earn, actually I give 50% of that to them to retain, and
Wow.
balance 50% I and my telco partner share. Actually, that is how the model is working. So we
Hmm.
are creating
Wow.
a job or a livelihood for one, and as a multiplier effect, because we buy equipment, we use technicians, all that. The actually the job which are created by one hotspot in a village actually is 3 times of that indirect jobs.
Wow. Wonderful. So yeah, once you have that, making a person enabled to think and also making risk free, that itself give a lot of opportunities for him, and not for him but for the whole community in which he is living.
Yes,
Wow.
correct.
Great, great. Thank you, sir, for all these insightful, which is happening behind the scenes, and the people are
Yes.
not very much aware of what is going. Yeah, great.
Yes, exactly. These are some out of your mind, these ideas. Actually, they are not conventional ideas, but that is what happens in startup and when you are innovating. And my concept of social entrepreneur also came there. And my business, like my Bluetown, is not a NGO, neither it is a not for profit company, though I call it social enterprise. Here it is also for profit. Only thing is I've changed the priority. First priority is it should solve a social problem, like
Yeah.
connecting the unconnected or getting job. So there are SDG goal. I'm helping 5 SDG goals out of 17 by this model. But still the profit also comes, and that is number two. Number two is profit. And number three is your capital. Whatever money I put my own, or anybody who puts or gives me a loan, their capital is protected. It is not taken as a grant. It is returnable. And maybe dividend may not come, but at least your capital is sure. That is my definition of social enterprise.
No, it fully resonate what you mentioned, and now I'm able to understand what this exactly the impact of this social entrepreneurship is all about.
Yes, it is a basically best of both the world. It is also a not for profit kind of thing and also run in a business manner.
Hmm.
Because if you run it in a business manner, it will be more efficient always.
Right.
Whereas NGO can never be efficient because there is you don't have to pay back the money, you don't have to return the money. So there is no KRA. If you make it only a social or just a CSR, there is no KRA. Whereas in a social enterprise, you have to protect the capital investment. And if you have to basically make good of your expenditure also, your staff cost also have to come out from that. So you have
Correct.
to be efficient.
Definitely, definitely. And it will be from this statement, the anyone will learn a lot and they will change their business model to create a best out of the two worlds. So thanks for bringing it up. You
Thank
mentioned about your book, The Long Tail, Walking Extra Mile on Rural Broadband Business. So, what are the key takeaways the policy makers and businesses can take from it when addressing the challenges of rural connectivity in today's world?
Oh, yes, that is correct. And this is the book. I can just show you the book, actually, the hard copy of this. This has ISBN. This is also on Amazon and it is PDF. I give free of cost from my website. So basically, as I mentioned, this book was written to solve the problem of the business model for a rural connectivity, actually. Because whenever anybody was asking why broadband is not reaching rural India, now, of course, two-thirds of rural India have broadband, only one-third is not there, but one-third is also a big number, actually,
Yeah.
about 450 million. But that time it was other way around. There was no broadband in rural India when I invented this business model. And basically, lot of research had to be done. Lot of actually, I was guided by, and I don't know if time permits, I can tell you a story related to why this book was written. So it goes back to Olympics, Telstra Olympic, which happened in Sydney. So when they were happening, the Australian people decided that this time they have never got the rowing gold in the Olympic, though it was a rowing country. And they told this time Olympic is happening in our capital, so we should get the rowing. So they created a ministry of rowing gold 4 years
Oh,
before Olympic. And they hired a minister, they hired a consultant. And the consultant was given the job that you tell us how to get the rowing gold. So the consultant phrased one question. One question was, will it move the boat faster? It is there in my book also, this story.
yeah.
Will it move the boat faster? So when the consultant was making the team and selecting the captain or by boat structure, what kind of material the boat should be, what kind of weight or should be, how everywhere first question he will ask, will it move the boat faster? If some recommendation come, he should be the captain. So he'll ask, will it move the boat faster? If I
Hmm.
make him captain. The any team, will it move the boat faster? Everything. And finally they got their rowing gold. So that motivated me because everyone, when I was talking, they told it has no business case. It has no business case. So then I
Hmm.
started doing research. I started discussing with different people. I will ask them one question. Will it make the business case for rural broadband? So I got a lot of ideas. Only one question I will ask everyone. And finally, I wrote this book where a lot of recommendations are there, and my MHSP model is there, PM Wani model is there. They came the reality later on, but first they were discovered in my book actually. That is a part of my research. That regulation, you remove regulation, you remove that 8% AGR, you don't ask for any bank guarantee, you don't ask for any license fee. All those things came here. And then you permit anybody to create that Wi-Fi hotspot, even if it does not have a license, especially if it has tie-up with the telco as a franchisee, all those things. And they led to the government actually deregulating all these things after this book was written. And then it brought a concept of what is called anchor beneficiary. Anchor beneficiary is the entity or the department or the individual who will get benefited by what you are doing. he only will pay. So if he does not get benefited, that is called if you solve problem of someone and for which he can pay. So that is called anchor beneficiary. So here that it came out anchor beneficiary is the state government, not the central government, not the individual. And that is where all my revenue is coming from the state government. When I set up a hotspot in a school, rural school, they give 1 year advance for getting that bandwidth there.
Wow.
Same way, if I do it in a school, the health department gives me. That is the anchor beneficiary. That is minimum return I need on my investment. That comes through anchor beneficiary. So it came all in this book actually, and made a business model also, how much investment, how much revenue I need, all these. And still I'm creating one job also after all that. So that everything is given in this book actually.
So rightly mentioned, one right question can change the whole
Yes.
world.
Exactly. And here I use the principle, a technology that is called Archimedes principle. So that like Archimedes, it told, give me a road long enough, strong enough, and I can move the world. So I changed that thing, give me a mast long enough, strong enough, and I can change the life of the rural guys. That is what actually in my PPT, in my book also, this is there. So it is exactly that actually.
Oh.
So a
No,
small tower. Somewhere I used water tank to put my equipment. Somewhere I used bamboo trees also to put my equipment. And it worked instead of a tower. Because cost has to be reduced. Actually, a
yes.
Wi-Fi hotspot is 1/10 less expensive than a 4G tower. And it consumes 1/100th of power. So I brought a concept of 5L, low cost, low power, low maintenance, local control, and local content. The
Wow.
five,
Yes.
5L principle. The cost of the setup is 1/10. That is why the cost of Wi-Fi access or 1 GB is 1/10 actually
One
in
tenth.
rural. Though it was more expensive in rural because you are spending more. So all these innovation, all these architecture, they had to be done. And everything is there in my book actually,
Hmm.
of this
All right,
long
so
tail
it's,
book.
it's very, very interesting because people are not like still most part of the world, especially if you look at the African part where the people are still, not properly connected. So they are looking for the solution which can lower their TCO. And OPEX is the one of the biggest challenge which most of the organizations are struggling how to do that. And definitely your book and your consultancy will give them a new version of the same problem.
Exactly. Because here maximum thing I go for the revenue share or the partnership purpose, like bandwidth, I don't have to spend upfront. My partner telco, which is BSNL and Railtel in this case, so they give me the bandwidth without asking for upfront, and then they get a revenue share. And because both the telcos are government, the revenue share was decided through a tender. So whatever came through a tender, that is what they take. So if I'm unable to earn, let us say, a single penny in a month, they don't ask any money to be given to them.
All
But
right.
if I earn, let us say, 20,000 rupees, so their percentage share will increase, they'll get. So that is how it happens.
Right. And so that's actually become a true partnership. So
Yes,
they
it's a
have the
partnership
support.
taking the risk. It is called PPP because you are sharing the risk also. It is
Correct.
public-private partnership.
Mm, right. No, definitely. I'm just reminding of one of the case in the one of the developing countries, and they were actually struggling because there's a pool of thoughts, right? Someone says the revenue sharing is bad. Someone say that the OPEX is bad. There's so many thoughts which is coming up, but I'm pretty much sure your book can give them a new guidelines that how to create a middle path which can create a win-win for both of the parties. In fact, that the
Exactly.
customers also.
Yes, that is their customer are benefiting, of course, because service is reaching to them, which was not reaching. So
Hmm.
now both the partner, of course, they have to share their expertise and they have to share the risk, and then they have to share the reward. So your agreement has to made like that. It is win-win correctly. But what is happening here is, because these telcos, they never wanted to invest in those last mile because they were not seeing any revenue potential, and they were not good in marketing in that rural market. So I did the marketing for them. I explored, I basically discovered the anchor beneficiary there. I brought them to the table and they are paying. So these the telco themselves could not do actually. Neither they could extend their reach beyond their tower. So that I did. But what they had, I used them. They had the bandwidth, which is backhaul. They had a big tower where they had put 2G antennas. So on that also I put Wi-Fi antennas. And then I took that bandwidth on the other side, on the village. There I did not have to put a high tower because the telcos had their tower. So that height advantage I took. And the others, and I put just a mast, 5 meter, and line
Yeah,
of sight was achieved like that, because one side, if you are height, that is enough. Other side, you don't have to be at same height actually. So
definitely.
that is what worked. So I used their existing infrastructure, and they had to spend a single penny, no expenditure by them, just only earning. So whatever they earn actually, and they had to make me successful so that more I earn, more revenue share they get.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a win-win situation. So definitely more customers, more revenue sharing, more ARPU multiply with the number of
Yes.
subscribers.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right. So, Dr. Gupta, we have seen you as a thought leader. Now you have shared a lot of new insights which you have done, behind the scenes. But if you look at, you are actively involved into mentoring and capacity building programs. So, as per your opinion, how important is mentorship in the rapidly evolving world of technology? And what are some of the key areas where you see the next generation need guidance?
Oh, yes, actually, you have put it right. The mentoring and capacity building, these are two things. One, let us take the mentoring. Mentoring is basically that you are an advisor, but without charging anything. In fact, you feel happy if you can help someone follows your advice and they get successful based on that. That is the role of mentors. And the mentor role has become very important. Like earlier days, there used to be guru kind of thing, those gurukul. Now in the startup domain, mentor has become a most important part of your team or your total organization structure. Because for a startup, what you need, as I was mentioning, you need an idea, then you need risk-taking capability. And third is you need seed capital or money, some start money like angel. So these three things are minimum required. But these three things are also not enough.
Hmm.
Unless you have rest comes execution. And execution can be done only if you have either experienced people in your team charging you high salary, which you cannot give as a startup, or you have a mentor who has the experience but he has no responsibility, he is not executing, but he can guide you or any of your intern. I'm guiding a lot of interns who deliver as if they are a middle level manager actually, and they
Hmm.
cost so. Intern is costing in India only 15,000 rupees a month. But if they have a mentor and they can be guided, because they can work 24 hours, actually, these
Hmm.
interns, the fresh graduates. But if they have a mentor, they can deliver same as a 10 years experienced manager does without mentoring. So that is what mentoring has become very important. That is why every startup pitch will have mentors. Even I have 2, 3 startups where we also have mentor in that, even if I'm owning them. Because everywhere you cannot be mentoring or you
Yeah.
cannot be expert in everything. So, but according to me, the role of mentor is make or break. If you have no mentor, the chances of your success are very less.
Right.
But if you have a mentor and mentor is good, then you cannot even fail, according to me. That is my reading about the mentorship. But other thing, and that is more important, that is the capacity building. Capacity building is mainly to acquire skills or to give those skills or reskilling yourself, because as the technology is evolving, you need different skills. So those have to be learned. Normally, those are not taught in colleges or in schools, actually.
Correct.
So you have the skill corporations are there, skill development companies are there, skilling partners are there of government also. There is a Ministry of Skilling in government, MSD, Ministry of Skilling and Development of Entrepreneurship, actually. And so those ministries are created just for skilling, reskilling the people who can become job ready, or people who can become entrepreneur. Even for becoming a entrepreneur, in addition to having a mentor, because mentor is just available to you now and then, not full time. So you should also have some skills yourself. If you don't have those skills, you have to learn. So you yourself as an entrepreneur, you have to obtain or acquire a lot of skills. So that is done through these capacity building programs. And whatever you hire as an intern, they also have to be skilled, actually, because they'll be low cost, but they'll be more productive. In startup, it is all about the founder who is an entrepreneur. He has to be skilled, and they have to have a mentor. Rest of the job can be done through interns, actually. That is
Yeah.
how all my startups, we don't have any middle manager. We don't have general managers. We also have
Oh,
mentor, advisors, the founders who have made investment, and rest is all interns,
wow.
because they can work 24 hours a day, those
Yeah.
interns.
And nowadays the AI has already come. So most of the things which these fresh or the interns are able to use AI more effectively because of the
Yes.
exposure which they have, and then definitely right guidance with the right tool which come from the AI enabled solutions can create wonders.
Yes, that is what exactly happening, actually. In
Mm,
fact, I always use for my blockchain forum these interns which I take, or sometime I go for lecturing in these colleges, and I talk these IT guys, and they say, "Sir, AI will eat away my IT jobs and all that." Those are called white collar jobs. So I
mm,
told, first of all, you should not go for a white collar job. But you don't get any job and only white collar, then your fear is good that you will
yeah.
be jobless any day. So, but if you become, what if you learn blockchain skills, actually there are some blockchain developing scheme and architecture. So I will make you what is called gold collared. Gold
Ah,
collared employee is actually who can create wealth. Actually, blockchain is also called Internet of Value. I've called it Internet of Wealth. So you will generate wealth, and that is for real, actually. You can become a gold collar person who is actually was fit for IT job, but he was either not taken there or he had to leave because the job went away. So, but you become a blockpreneur. If you want to become entrepreneur, you don't have to form a company. You can be a self
employed.
employed guys, a single man, and then rest you take from mentor and from skilling thing. So, and those people, I call them gold collared. Why I call them gold collared? Whatever they do as blockpreneur, whatever
Mm,
content they generate or create, or whatever value they create, whatever wealth they create, it is their own. So they are creating wealth. That means they are actually creating gold. So I call them gold collared. And there is
uh,
a great opportunity that is in the blockchain side. That is my separate startup also, my separate hobby also, actually.
no, no, it's a very important. The gold collar is something which is very unique. It's very creative, but
Yeah.
you touch a very important point on on the blockchain. So maybe and it's the right time that my next question also comes from that side. So as the chairman of this blockchain for productivity forum, so you have been a strong advocate for leveraging blockchain technology to enhance the productivity. So we need to understand, or if you can elaborate on the potential blockchain holds for the telecom industry and obviously beyond that.
Yes, actually, blockchain have the potential for all the sectors, including telecom. No sector of the government or society or a country can actually do without blockchain. The blockchain is like that. I have called it through, that is wish tree. Actually, it can solve any problem you have. It can meet any demand you have, actually. So I've written a poem on blockchain that is called Blockchain Chalisa. It is
Ah,
available everywhere. This is my third book where this poem is the starting point. So in 40 liners, I've tried to describe what blockchain is, what it is not, what it can do, what is its future, and it is more imaginary thing something. Today they look imaginary, but I know they are for real. But I cannot guarantee that because then people will not read my poem. I say it is a poem. Whatever I have written is imaginary, but actually they are for real. I know them, but
uh,
because yeah, it can do wonders actually that, and that is what I do. So our forum actually is a think tank on blockchain productive uses, not that cryptocurrency, not that Bitcoin or Ethereum, where a lot of speculations are happening, a lot of frauds kind of things are happening, and gray market is happening. So I'm
hmm,
not talking about those things. These are also application of blockchain. In fact, they were the initial application of blockchain. But blockchain can do much more than this crypto, much more than e-rupee actually. So
hmm,
it can actually make you more productive. It can increase the efficiency. It can increase the transparency. It can bring the trust actually. It can bring the security. It can create jobs. Everything blockchain means whatever, because according to me, it can solve any problem you have, which a conventional technology cannot say. And now it makes use of AI also. With AI, blockchain, and my third thing, IPv6, that is the next generation internet. These three technologies put together can do wonders actually. And that is what I'm working. Normally in a blockchain, when you solve a problem, you write a white paper. In
hmm,
that, you have to answer 4 questions. One, what is the problem you are trying to solve? Second, how do you know that problem is there? Have you validated it through research or through talking to? Third, what solution you are proposing using blockchain that will solve that problem? And fourth, do you have anybody who will pay you for solving that problem? So
ah,
that comes in white paper actually. So I have written many white papers. Some of them have created companies actually. Two of them I'm still searching for investors or entrepreneurs actually, and they will solve. One white paper is called Gyan Vani, where all the infrastructure, this fiber and cable TV infrastructure of the country will be put in a blockchain cooperative, like in a trust or a pool, and then they will be utilized, maintained professionally, and utilized in an open access manner. So it will create what we call a digital public good. Government is talking about digital public infrastructure. So that is the infrastructure. But digital public good means it is available to everyone on a open access basis and free of cost, like sunlight. I've compared it with sunlight, air, and water, actually, in my latest book on blockchain. And so that is what we can do, actually. So, and same way, I've written a white paper called DY, which I presented in WTSA, which ended yesterday. I was given 1 hour session there. So DY is decentralized Wi-Fi. So my aim is that all the Wi-Fi hotspot where they are mushrooming, even in your home, even your mobile, all the hotspots, if they can be registered on blockchain, then they can interoperate, roaming can happen. And if one person bandwidth is not there and his neighbor bandwidth is idling, that his neighbor bandwidth will be used by this person, and he will be debited his tokens, and
hmm,
this his neighbor will get tokens. So ultimately they will be incentivized, but it will be, your hotspots will be ubiquitous and interchangeable, usable all the security issues can be taken care of. So from DeFi, there was decentralized finance, like this crypto and all that. So I have created the DY, decentralized Wi-Fi. So it was appreciated like anything by ITU also. 2 days back only I had made that presentation, and there is a full video of that. And someday you can get it from Google or from ITU, or even I can send that to you, or
So
maybe it can be.
we will host that video in this podcast as well as a special comment. So yeah, please do
Oh,
share
great.
with us.
Yes, yes, that will share. That will be great thing if that can be done. So
Definitely.
like that, we do blockchain can actually solve any problem. But minimum thing it brings to the table is efficiency, productivity, transparency, security, traceability, some of the things which are missing through AI, ML and all that, that blockchain can solve. And it can create jobs also. That is
Definitely.
what gold collar is actually the jobs created by blockchain. Whatever jobs are eaten away by AI,
Yeah, will be
more than that, jobs are created by blockchain. And the same guys who are sufferer of AI job, those white collared guys, they are made gold collared by blockchain.
it
Just
will
by
give us
skilling,
it will
just
give
by
us
skilling.
yeah, it will give a sense of relief to most of the people who are unemployed, a talented professional who has been expelled from the job or laid off from last 15,
Yes,
18 months. So
yes. So they can migrate to our blockchain domain, and they will never be jobless because they will become their own boss. They will be blockpreneur. They whatever value they create, they own it. Now, otherwise, in white collared, what you do, whatever value you create to the company, you get maybe 10% of that.
yes,
Rest is retained to the company. Or if you are creating some value for those big five e-commerce company like Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon. So the total value goes to them, though they may pay you much high salary,
yeah,
but actually what you have created for them is the salary is peanut out of that. But if
also
you are a blockpreneur, everything, whatever you create is your own. That is called creator economy, actually. That is what I mean by what I was calling gold collared. And this web, actually, they have named it different way. They call it Web 3. I call it worldwide owned wealth. The Web 3 is actually what I'm talking, that it is your own read, write, own web, actually. So it is
hmm,
your own. Whatever you create is your own. Content is your own. Data is your own. If you monetize your data, you get benefited. If you monetize your invention, you get benefited. It is patented, though you may not have patented it, but it automatically it gets NFT,
yes,
non-fungible token. So it is time stamped in your name. So you don't have to go for patenting it. It is automatically patented by blockchain itself.
yeah, no, no, agree. It's a wonderful thought and a lot of research, whatever you have put and the effort which you have put so far, it will easily, we can easily sense it out. And thanks for that, the helping hand, which most of the people are clueless at this moment. So thanks, Dr. Gupta, for bringing all these valuable insights. I'm still having a lot of questions, but in the interest of time and the people to digest whatever you have mentioned so far, I believe that we should continue this in the another session as well, because we don't want to miss the valuable insight what you are which you have mentioned. And obviously, till the time, homework to the audience is they should read your book. They should understand what is going on, and wherever they can also bring on some of the new ideas or new queries, which may also help us to think beyond the challenges which these guys are facing.
Oh, thank you, Deepak. It was a great opportunity, and I'll be honored if you have another session with me or another podcast. Means I'm always available. It is always my pleasure to share my knowledge, my thoughts, and to basically of help to these young startups or young entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And wishing you happy Diwali. Uh, as the next week will be full of busyness with a lot of lightning, as well as the obviously the air gets changed in India. whenever the Diwali approaches.
Thank you, and same to you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Until next time, to the readers.